Hey, spring football is here. Talking Miami Hurricanes football with the Wholesome One. Join him on his YouTube channel, of course, breaking down Miami football on a consistent basis. And the Wholesome One doing a great job coming on here, setting us up for spring football in Coral Gables.
Oh, yeah, it's almost time, man. We moved it up. So March 2nd will be the start of spring ball, and at the Mecca down in Dade County at Trash Pile Stadium will be our spring game, April 11th. So we're super excited about that, and we're going to be here on Mark Rogers TV giving you all a position-by-position pre-spring breakdown. Let's get into wide receivers and DBs today.
We got the defensive line and the linebackers posted. We're talking wide receivers. So this is one of the positions people really get into because these guys are fun to watch, playmakers, game changers, and even for the fringe fan, I think they gravitate to wide receivers just because of the freakish athletic ability. Jeff Thomas gone, KJ Osborne, who was a very consistent guy at that position, gone. A lot of talent coming back, and a new wide receiver head coach as well, with Ron Likens taking over for Taylor Stubblefield.
Right. So we got a new OC that's going to be super up tempo, no huddle type of thing, and also Rob Likens, who's one of the best wide receiver coaches and actually a very tenacious recruiter. But it's going to be mixed in with a lot of wide receivers who are not proven just yet. Mike Harley comes back, and Mike Harley has the most receptions and the most yards with 38 receptions, 485 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Second to him will be D. Wiggins, someone who jumped out of the gym to us out of nowhere last season as a true sophomore. That's crazy that he out of nowhere. Now he's all of a sudden going to be a junior coming up here soon, where he had 20 receptions for 335 yards and 4 touchdowns. Did D. Wiggins. Everyone else, we got Mark Pope with 18 receptions for 266 yards and 2 touchdowns. That means we only have 9 receiving touchdowns coming back across the board. So therefore, guys like Jeremiah Payton, Michael Raden III, Xavier Restrepo, Keyshawn Smith, and Xavier, I always brought up Restrepo. I like Restrepo a lot. Those guys are going to have to step up. And they're all early enrollees. They're now learning the offense with Coach Rob Likens and Coach Rick Lashley. The only person right now who is out via injury is Michael Redding III, but he'll miss spring with a wrist injury. But that still means that he can keep his conditioning up. He just won't be able to catch the ball with both hands, but he'll be able to do all the conditioning tests and sprints and all those things, run routes. And he's working his mind right now, knowing where he should be and what routes should come up, where whatever formations we're in, all of those things. We got a lot of size at the wide receiver position mixed in. It's a nice plethora of things, As your wide receiver, your number 1, you got D. Wiggins coming in, he's 6'3", 193 pounds. Jeremiah Payton is 6'1", 188 pounds, and Michael Raden III, who is 6'1", 191 pounds. As your Z receiver, your number 2, you got Mark Pope coming back as a true junior. He's 6'1", 172. Daslam Warsham, early enrollee, true freshman, 6'1", 170. Then you also have Keyshawn Smith, the flyer out of San Diego, 6 foot, 170 pounds. And our slot wide receiver, you got Mike Harley coming back for his senior season here at the University of Miami, and Xavier Restrepo coming in at 5'11", 186 pounds, who's a dog, a tenacious go-getter. So whatever you need here, you got the size, you got the medium size as far as you got 6'2+, you got 6 foot and 6'1", and you got 5'10", 5'11". But the big thing is we have speed across the board. Now we have to get these young men to buy in. I'm excited because for the very first time in a long time, Mark, it'll be exciting to be on the offensive side of the ball here at Miami moving into the 2020 season. You look at the latter half of the previous decade, it was more exciting to be on the defensive side of the ball. You wanted to be a defender. You wanted to wear the turnover chain. But now we're being able to bring the high-tempo offense. We're being able to hopefully score a lot of points.
And that's what's going to be interesting because we bring up a guy like Jeff Thomas, who had all the ability in the world, put up 31 receptions last year, didn't necessarily post the kind of numbers that you would expect. I'm not putting that all on the play calling and the quarterback situation, but obviously that had a huge bearing on it. Jeff also dropped a number of key passes from time to time as well. Despite all that ability, he couldn't hang on a few times in some key situations. One would have, I remember last year, man, a big game in the ACC Coastal. It was either Georgia Tech or Virginia Tech. He could have hung on to a TD, possibly against Florida as well. That would have made that game closer. But
he had some key drops, but that's the thing is we're going to make some moves this offseason, Mark. And, of course, we wish Jeff Thomas the absolute best in the NFL. He represents the University of Miami. But we're going to be moving forward with a nice offense, and we're excited to see our Miami Hurricanes catching, running, and dancing in the end zone on the offensive side of the ball at the wide receiver position in 2020.
Now, our buddy Cam Underwood is a big Mark Pope fan. He expects him to explode.
So am I. I mean, Mark Pope is the guy that needs to step up. A lot of people ask, who would I like? Who's somebody I predict? No. Mike Harley, D. Wiggins, and Mark Pope need to step up spring of 2020 and push that into fall of 2020. Those three guys, it's go time for them. It's truly go time.
D. Wiggins actually played some of his better ball against the key opponents in the ACC, Virginia Tech, Florida State, Louisville. In those games, Mike Harley had a huge game against Louisville, as just about everybody did in that route. Harley caught 6 against the Cardinals for $116. And again, D. Wiggins had a couple touchdown receptions against Louisville and his better games against the Seminoles and the Hokies as well. So who's the burner? Who's the kind of post-up guy? Who's the guy that's going to convert third downs and be kind of that, I don't know that we can compare anybody to a Hunter Renfrow, but possibly be that guy that's really counted on almost as a tight end, a security blanket, like, man, I need a 7-yard completion. There's the guy.
Well, our burner's Mark Pope. And I think it will be a slash between Mark Pope and D. Wiggins. If you look at any of these touchdowns, excluding his Louisville across the middle touchdown, he was pulling away from people. And that's what you expect from South Florida recruits. But to expect that from a 6'3", 193-pound dude, I mean, D. Wiggins can actually become, like I said, he's our X receiver. He is listed as the number one, the X, the primary go-to guy would be D. Wiggins. The post-up guy I think would be Jeremiah Payton, number 12. We've been waiting on him. He was the number 6 wide receiver in the country coming out of Surge 19, class of 2019, coming into University of Miami. Flashed in spring, flashed in training camp, and then he didn't really get a chance to have too many reps out there or the ball be thrown to him when he was on the field last season. So if I were to say who's the burner, I would give it to D. Wiggins. If I had to say out of the two, burner, D. Wiggins. Guaranteed you post that ball up, stick it to the fingers, give me Jeremiah Payton. But a go-to, and this is going to surprise people, but a go-to 3rd and 7, Mike Harley. I mean, he's a little guy. But if you watch any of the film, and that's the eye in the sky does not lie, you watch any of the film last year when we needed a nice third down and KJ was double-teamed or Brevin was double-teamed, they went after little Mike Harley, and he put his heart on the line to go after that ball. And that's what I think he will continue to do for Miami going into his senior season, his last go-round as a Hurricane.
Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Please like, comment, share the videos, and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter as well. Get on over to the Wholesome Ones channel, Wholesome One Holloway. That's HOLSUM1. You got it right there, and you subscribe to his YouTube channel. Appreciate the breakdown on the wide receiver, sir.
No problem.